Welcome, everyone. So, my name is Scrawn Fruel, and this is a podcast for the Nouns ComShow or Community Showdown. So, this is the community grassroots tournament for SEAesport, wherein we run various tournaments for various games that are trying to grow their own community for us here in SEAesport. But before we get into Marvel SNAP instead, I would like to begin first by introducing Nouns Esports, who's making all of these things possible for us. And representing Nouns right now is Peter or Dager or PP, or also known as PPD. You may know him from our audience here that is very strong suited in Dota 2. He's a multi-tournament winner, including the International 2015 as Evil Geniuses. He's also the former CEO of NA professional gaming organization Evil Geniuses. So with that said, I'll be bringing him along.
Hi, thanks for having me. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Peter. So wanted to touch up on about Nouns in particular. I want you to paint me a picture. What is NOUNstop?
Sure. So NOUNstop is a Ethereum NFT collection, and they sell one noun a day forever is sort of their ethos, and they sell for a whole bunch of money. And as a result, there's a gigantic treasury, and members that own nouns are able to submit proposals to the DAO that has like over $50 million right now. And you're able to submit proposals, and they vote on whether or not they want to approve or deny them.
Okay, so but with that said, what is the biggest difference with Nouns DAO and Nouns Esports?
Sure. So Nouns Esports is really just a subgroup or a sub-community of NOUNstop that formed around gaming and esports. Really early on, there was only a couple of nouns in the earliest days, and I think Sasquatch, who is the founder, he met this other guy named Brennan, who's a co-founder, and they were both really early members of Nouns. And they, said, "What if we had a Dota team?" Right. And so then all of a sudden there was a proposal for a Dota team, and that created a community around that Dota team, which led to another proposal to have more esports. So it's just a sub community of Nouns DAO that's focused on esports.
Yeah. So you mentioned Dota 2. What are the other esports titles that Nouns is currently active on?
Sure. So we've been active in a handful of different ones. We've gone in and out of a couple games, but the main ones we're really focused on right now are Dota 2, Counter-Strike, Smash Brothers Melee, and we also have a Valorant streamer, but she's kind of more of a content creator. You
mentioned a little bit earlier about voting system, right? So how does this play along with you selecting a new title to pursue in the realm of esports?
So I don't actually look at, there's titles that we like, right? As a community of contributors, right? I come from Dota. Obviously I've got some bias towards Dota 2 and Counter-Strike, and I'm from North America. Smash Melee is huge here, so I'm a little biased towards that as well. So I like to, invest our resources in games that I would enjoy watching, right? Because I want to see, I want to watch my team on the weekends and enjoy that. But we're in a really unique position where we can kind of enable other groups to potentially find that enjoyment in their communities. So wherever there's really a great idea and a strong community of supporters behind it, I think we're often looking for those outsized opportunities that find a really difficult time doing their initial fundraising, and we can kind of help kickstart them. And if they enjoy the process of kind of that nounish culture where you're, operating in the open, transparently, submitting proposals, proving your worth. And if you just do a good job and represent the community well, like we can continue, hopefully continue like a really great partnership.
How does one become a member? Is it through just being active on Discord? Is there necessary applications needed? So can you walk me through that for those that are interested now in being a part of the Nouns community?
Yeah, so a big question that people ask me when they initially talk to me about Nouns, they often wonder, do I own a noun? Noun is an NFT. It's a crazy expensive one. They sell for like 30 ETH. which is like $50,000 or $60,000 depending on the price. So I don't own any myself. Most of the people at Nouns Esports, we don't own any. We have a couple of people that own a couple, which gives us the ability to submit proposals to NOUNstop. But a lot of those proposals that have been submitted to NOUNstop have actually have enabled sub communities to form their own culture groups that have potentially like lower price points to tokens that give you access to their community. So there's a lot of like smaller and easier ways to entry. At Nouns Esports, we don't actually, you don't have, there's no buy-in. We don't have any sort of thing. You could just basically jump in the Discord, start sharing your ideas. If people like them and you get a lot of positive attention towards that idea, like you could be funded within a week and we could be onto a new adventure. So we like to really encourage a very open and collaborative environment.
Yeah. So just to clarify, in order to be a member of the community, you don't need to own anything.
Sure. Yeah. There's no membership. It's like it's kind of like an open source brand. They call it like commercial free use. So the noggles, right? Anybody can sort of grab them and make them and use them in their own branding and products, and they have like the freedom and right to do so. So really anybody could represent Nouns in esports, right? But if they want to get paid for it, they kind of come to us and submit a proposal.
And this proposal that you're saying is it only limited to esports titles within the Nouns Esports, or is it like, for example, like a podcast like this self? Is it something that Nouns Esports is in the realm of the possibility, is what I'm trying to say?
I think it just depends on what KPIs the pod or whoever's governing that funding is interested in doing. So I don't think that it has to be specific to esports. It doesn't even have to be super specific to gaming. We do a lot of different stuff in art and content and events and different things. So there's a ton of different ways to interact. It just depends on the proposal. Like, what's the cost? What's the the work being required on our side to contribute and get it done, and what's the squeeze? Like, what did we get out of it? So these are answers that people that are submitting proposals should have a relatively decent idea of what they're sort of setting out to achieve.
With that said, we're talking about esports in particular. Are there any upcoming esports events or titles that you're excited for that Nouns is part of?
Yeah, so we actually have a huge Dota 2 North American TI regional qualifier going on. Nouns actually played a little bit earlier today, and I think they don't have a match tomorrow, but they've got a match the next day. Nouns are a big favorite. They're like the best unqualified team from North America. So they should be qualifying to the biggest tournament in the world here in October. So we're fingers crossed for them.
Oh yeah, so that is the international happening in Seattle, right, this October?
Yes.
Okay. So before we close things up relating to Nouns, I wanted to ask a few questions. So this is a Marvel Snap podcast. I want to ask a few things about Marvel in particular. So do you have any Marvel superhero that or comics that you read that you're in favor of?
Not a big comic guy, and actually not a huge Marvel guy. I haven't played too much Marvel Snap, admittedly, but I was there when the first couple Spider-Man movies were crazy popular. The Wolverine movies were really popular. The Hulk, right? The old Hulk, not the old Hulk, but I don't know, my generation's Hulk, I guess. Those are some of my favorite movies growing up. But honestly, I think I kind of grew out of the Marvel culture, and I kind of just got addicted to esports and Dota. So I kind of gave up my interest on anything after high school, to be frank.
Yeah, superheroes in general have been taking up a storm, especially in the pop culture in the recent years. So it's no longer just tied to comic books. You can find it anywhere ranging from movies, games to TV, even TV shows. So yeah, I understand how you can be like, it's everywhere now. So you don't even have to try hard to find a superhero um, title, right? So yeah, I
It
understand that
feels like,
completely.
I don't know, maybe this is a too pessimistic for a Marvel Snap podcast, but I feel like it just got like overcapitalized by like investment groups. Like they just were just like, let's people love the Spider-Man movie, right? Let's make 1,000,000 of them. And then they just did it, and they just kept like expanding their universe. And I think it just, at some point, it just got too big for me, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm out.
Oh yeah, that one I can definitely. There's like certain fatigue that you feel like after the whole Avengers, like when ended. It felt there's some fatigue started to build up for me that we're gonna be restarting this new arc again and of a new super bad. So yeah, I understand fully that there is the superhero fatigue that
Mhm.
you're trying to convey.
But I bet if you like Marvel Snap, you're probably really into it though. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, yeah. So I do play Marvel Snap, not competitively, but I do play it a lot casually. So yeah, going back to that with Marvel Snap and esports. So Marvel Snap is right now is the new shiny card game from Second Dinner. Showcases the ones we talked about earlier, which are Marvel heroes exclusively. So I wanted to talk to you about the significance of empowering these grassroots tournaments that which is Nouns is doing right now for Community Showdown. So I wanted to get a feel from your opinion on why is it very important.
I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I think we're looking for outsized opportunities to contribute at this level. I think in order to participate at this level, you need to be really flexible, and it's often hard to bring significant funding to grassroots movements for this reason. We were in like a really unique position where we got a whole bunch of money from NOUNstop, and because of the way our organization operates, we're able to make decisions like within a day and move on it, which most organizations just can't do because they've got, a big budget basically planned for the upcoming year. So yeah, in that situation, that's kind of how we actually led to getting our CS:GO team. There was a team that they were running a GoFundMe for their upcoming boot camp. And we were like, don't run a GoFundMe. Like, we'll just sponsor you. You guys rep us if you win. And we ended up signing them and later submitting a greater proposal, which gave them funding for an entire year. So, yeah, we just look for like really unique opportunities. OX NASA, or I don't know what you guys call him, Josie, he was a part of the Nouns Esports community, came to a couple of our contributor calls. I met with him a couple times. I like him. He seems like a great guy. Seems like a quality contributor. So when we find people that give us that really good, professional, positive energy, we want to play ball. So when he came to us with that Marvel Snap proposal, we were, before we were even finished with it, we just saw the quality of the proposal and we were almost ready to say yes, just for the opportunity to work with you guys and see where it goes from here.
So yeah, this will be catered into growing Marvel Snap even more. So as you know, there's not much high tier competitive that is going on right now for Marvel Snap, especially with no spectator mode. So a lot of this is building up the grassroots community, making sure the community is in line, and of course, really great to have Nouns be part of that, empowering the community, especially here in Southeast Asia. So before we close things up, I wanted to hear some final thoughts from you about Nouns. If there's anything you would like to highlight for the year, for example, or
yeah, thank you guys for bringing me on. Thanks everybody for listening and participating in this Marvel Snap tournament. We're happy to contribute, and we hope that we can level things up and make it bigger and better in the future. So if you guys enjoy it, tell your friends, make the community larger. There's power in numbers, and yeah, let's keep this thing going. see how long we can blow up Marvel Snap. Yeah, it's definitely a very popular game. So if we can bring more attention to the esports program and do a good job, there's a lot of opportunity here.
All right. Okay, guys, that has been Peter from Nouns Esports. So yeah, later on we will have another guest with us, which is Wesley Lambie Series C. He is a Creator Clash UK winner and has the most winnings for overall in terms of Marvel Snap tournaments to date. So yeah, stay tuned for us as we take a short break and we will be back. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and we'll be right back.